All right, we have Ella joining in from Pennsylvania. Wow. Oh, that's awesome. You heard about this event from a global teacher. That is so cool. Brittany joining in from LA. Great. Great. We got more people coming in. Juliet from LA. All right. For those of you who are just joining in, I am inviting everyone to type in the chat your name, where you're joining in from, and how you heard about this event. First one is Ella, who's joining all the way from Pennsylvania and heard about this event from her global teacher, which is so cool. Carol, Thousand Oaks. Awesome. The Fairtrade email list. Glad you're opening up the emails. So nice to see everybody. I know in a normal situation, it'd be hard for us all to gather in one place, especially with LA traffic. So this is great. Laurel, Glendale, Kendall, LA. Awesome. Gabby. Oh, Pennsylvania as well. Wow, heard about it on Instagram. That's awesome. At least our promo is working.
Yeah.
More people. That's awesome. Again, for those of you who just joined in, I'm inviting everyone to type in the chat your name, where you're joining in from, and how you heard about this event. We have people tuning from all over the country, which is awesome. In Pennsylvania, is it 10 p.m. right now? 9 or 10? Hi, Andrew, Los Angeles.
I think 10.
10, wow. Wow, that's awesome. Wow, Chicago, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. Jasmine, Orange County, great. This is so cool. Well, thanks for tuning in even at 10 p.m. You guys are committed. I love it. Well, let me get started. And I'm sure more people will be joining in, but welcome to the first Fair Talks of 2021. It's our very first one that we're doing virtually, and we're so excited to relaunch this educational series that we're calling Fair Talks, educating ordinary people for extraordinary change. And this is inspired by TED Talks, but for all things fair trade. So in case you guys don't know, Fairtrade is a nonprofit here in Los Angeles, and our mission really is to raise awareness for fair trade and educate people about all that we're doing. But Fairtrade, we are also the organization who officially made Los Angeles the largest fair trade city, not just in America, but in North America, and the fourth largest in the world. And this happened in 2020, and amidst the crazy year. In August 2020, LA City Council unanimously voted and passed the Fair Trade Resolution, declaring us a fair trade city. So, and officially declaring the second Saturday of May World Fair Trade Day, which is also when we're going to host our next Fair Talk. So stay tuned. But in honor of Women's History Month, we wanted to feature one of our very own fair trade business members who is empowering women in developing countries. In case you guys don't know, one of the 10 fair trade principles is gender equality. So we are about empowering women by employing women and paying women fair wages, which is what fair trade is about. And as you guys know, when you employ women, a whole family is made better, a whole village is made better. So why is this really important, especially for this time, COVID-19, the pandemic? Well, according to Forbes, women has lost over 5 million jobs in 2020. This is in America alone. And during the first 10 months of the pandemic, women, particularly women of color, have lost more jobs than men. And that is heartbreaking. But imagine the impact that's made globally. You know, it's crucial for women to be employed, especially in the fair trade industry, because if not, they become vulnerable to human trafficking, because human traffickers prey on the economically vulnerable people. So tonight, we're honored to have with us Malia Designs, one of our very own Fair Trade LA business members, a woman-owned, women-run company who works with women in Cambodia, and every purchase gives back to fight human trafficking in Cambodia and in the US. And side note, if you guys haven't heard, from now until March 20th, you can get 10% off their website at maliadesigns.com, and 10% of your purchase will be donated to Fair Trade LA. You just have to use the promo code FAIRTALKS. And I'm going to show off my purchase right here. This is the bag that I purchased. My favorite feature is that it's like perfect for travels, because you could put this over your handle for your carry-on or your suitcase, so that it won't fall around, flop around. And I put my little scarf there. So yeah, check out their website, Malia Designs, and use the promo code FAIRTALKS for 10% off. And then also want to invite you guys, if you guys haven't checked out becoming a member at Fair Trade LA for as low as $35 a month. You can continue to get involved in events like this and support what we do. Obviously, your donations help us continue to educate people about fair trade and grow the fair trade movement, impacting artisans worldwide. And for this month, if you subscribe, we're going to send you one of these Malia matching face masks and pouches. So I want to show off some of them. They are reversible face masks with a matching pouch. So I will put all this information in the chat. Okay, without further ado, let's welcome Lucia from Malia Designs. She's the brand director, and I'm going to let her tell us more about her company.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alicia, for having me, and thanks to everyone at Fair Trade LA. It's nice to see some faces, even if it's just virtually here. So yeah, I'm Lucia. I'm the brand director at Malia Designs, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get started. So let's see here. And then hopefully you guys can see that now. But yeah, what I'm going to touch on is the journey of Malia, how we came into existence, how we work in partnership with women in Cambodia, and how creating community fosters independence and security for the marginalized folks that our partners work with over there. So we are designed to carry a cause. That is our tagline. And then our brand statement summary here is just that we are a fair trade handbag and accessories brand that combines lively design, the use of recycled materials, and affordable price points. Our products are handcrafted in Cambodia, and every purchase helps to fight human trafficking. And this is our mission as it appears directly and copied and pasted from our website. So I won't read it. I'll just leave that all up for you all to read if you like. And then I'll go into a little bit about how Malia came to be. So our founder is actually a good friend of mine named Leah. She was in the Peace Corps, not in Cambodia, but when she finished her stint in the Peace Corps, she had traveled to Cambodia, and she just was really moved by her experience there, by the beauty of the country, by the warmth and generosity of the people. It had really touched her. And about that same time, she became aware of what human trafficking was, because we've been around for a while. It was a long time. human trafficking was not, it just wasn't talked about or shared prominently in the news like it is today. And Leah at that time, she went back, she went to graduate school actually, and then like upon graduation, it just happened that her best friend had also coincidentally traveled to Cambodia, and she came back from Cambodia and she was like, Leah, I think we need to start a business over there. So they traveled back together and they met lots of women and organizations that are already doing great work there. Cambodia has a pretty robust like network of small fair trade producer groups and groups promoting and making handicrafts. And so yeah, that was how the idea for Malia was born. And they decided at that time that they also wanted to give back a percentage to organizations working to fight human trafficking. So this year will actually mark the 16th year that we've been in business, which is great. We love that. And our main goal is a partnership goal. So through this partnership, we work to create long-term sustainable employment for vulnerable women and as well as men in Cambodia. And we've been working with two of our partners, like pretty much since our existence. And the other partner we've worked with for over a decade. So these are just some fun like then and now photos of some of our artisans in Cambodia. And this is Noi. She, the first picture on the left is probably 6 or 7 years ago. And she was working as the retail assistant and a QA assistant. And then the other picture is very recent. And so now today she runs the entire main retail location in Phnom Penh for this partner group. So how we work to achieve this goal is we have a three-pronged approach to our business model. And so the producer groups that we work with are fair trade and they promote similar social missions. We have a high quality fashion forward product that's geared towards the Western market because that's where we are. And then we raise awareness and donate back to organizations that fight human trafficking. And then at the bottom here, this is the little marketing card that we give both to stores and to folks that purchase our products online. It talks about the positive impacts you make with your Malia design purchase. And a lot of these positive things also directly translate to other fair trade businesses as well, you can probably see. So yay to everyone for promoting and supporting fair trade. So, and yeah, just to talk about these partnerships a little bit more. So each group, and I kind of use producer group and partner interchangeably, but I mean the same thing. So we work with 3 different groups and they're each independent. They are all 3 women owned and women led, and they each have their own social mission that is similar to ours. And each one is organized a bit differently. They all 3 are focused on employing folks who are also disabled, and they both employ both men and women, though women make up the majority of makers and artisans by a pretty large percentage. And when you add everybody up, comes out to around approximately 200 folks that our partnerships employ. So that's really inspiring to us. And then here this next slide is just our largest group, Village Works. They shared all of these great photos that they took of everyone. So I'll just let them kind of cycle through here for this International Women's Day with the WFTO cards here. The Choose to Challenge was the theme this year. And I have always, I think because International Women's Day has their roots in the labor movement, like a lot of times what they're talking about will correlate really nicely with like some of the things that fair trade is working to accomplish as well. And So this year's theme was Choose to Challenge, and I just want to talk a little bit about how we are both challenged and inspired by the women that we work with in Cambodia, since they are all focused on hiring and helping people with disabilities. Like their message to folks is they want people to choose to purchase the beautiful products they create, not because they are made by people with a disability, but to appreciate the hard work, passion, and creativity of the artisans behind the designs who also happen to be disabled. And for me, it really made me think about like Joe Biden, when he gave his victory speech, he mentioned the disability community specifically, and it was really seen as a milestone. He talked about the disabled community specifically being worthy of the promises of America, and a lot of disability rights activists like pointed that out, and how it was one of the first times in like recent memory that the president has addressed the disability community directly, which I think really says a lot about how like far we have to go here for the rights of folks with disabilities. And like everything else, COVID has kind of shown a light on that. So yeah, it's always interesting to for me to see how things like this kind of correlate with the way that our artisan partners work so well to empower these people that they work with that happen to be disabled. And I also wanted to share just a little bit something else that they shared on social media around International Women's Day, and that is, we focus on empowering women to find stable income through handicraft production, which allows their children to get an education and live in a safe environment. Fair trade businesses like ours foster a workplace where women feel appreciated and respected. Our business was set up and founded by women and a group of friends. Many women involved took on leadership and mentorship roles, and one goal was to grow the business into a vibrant enterprise that is now a role model and inspiration. Love that too. And then next, I just want to share a couple of short video clips. And this is Anak, who is the owner, the woman in charge of our largest group, Village Works, to share what she has to say about the Village Works team.
How would you describe the Village Works team? What would you say about them?
Village Works. We are family, not so much on employer and employee, but more or less we are family, we are sister and brother. We know a lot about each other, and we also share a lot of family feeling, especially the women that in the province. They work with us many years since we are started. Till now they are still with Village Work, and I think they feel that they have the ownership. That I never feel that I'm the boss. So Village Work is also belong to them.
Let's see if I can get to this other video. This is our other partner, Thanon, and she's sharing, let's see, maybe. And she's sharing specifically about working with women who are disabled in Cambodia.
So. What's the thing that you love most about what you get to do?
I have think that I work with a woman.
Yeah. Me too.
Woman, and I try to want to see the woman, especially women that handicapped,
Yeah.
to have they can work independent.
Yeah.
And then they can like full in social activity,
Yeah.
you know, not like they say women cannot do. Mostly in Cambodia, like our culture, the women should be in the cooking only.
Yeah.
And look after the children. But we don't want to see only that. We want to see the woman is a powerful in the social activity.
Isn't that fantastic? And thanks, Danan, for being with us today.
Alright. See.
What's the thing that you love most about what you get to do?
All right, see if I can have that stopped for real. Okay. Yeah, and I just love those clips because I think they just really like highlight kind of the heart of both of those organizations and how they are invested in the folks that are working for them. And so then these photos, I just are another kind of then and now series. When Anak mentioned the women that they've worked with these women in the provinces for a long period of time. This is one of those women. So the picture on the far left in 2011, a friend and a professional photographer traveled to Cambodia. And so she visited with our partners and took all these amazing photos and gave them to us and to them. And then so this is her, and she actually does the production management for this entire rural workshop. And then and the middle picture is like 2017, and then this most recent picture is here with her daughter. So very neat. And then this is one of the women that works with Banan, again, the great professional photo on the left from 2011. And then the pictures, these are just photos I took last time I was there in 2019, and that's actually her husband. So they both work for this artisan group, and they are getting ready to send their kids to university now. So yeah, they've been with Fanon for a long time as well. So and then so I'm started to touch on this already, but this idea of creating community and how it's a benefit that really doesn't show up on the balance sheet, but how it's important for communities or for folks that are marginalized in some way to have a community, and how that helps them to become more secure and less vulnerable. And like the way that I've personally seen our partners do that is by being invested in the lives of the workers and to offer real mentorship and kind of in what that looks like. They're being available to support women in times of crisis, or just being there to listen. So I remember the first time I visited Cambodia, and I was visiting the workshop that's out in the countryside. And Anak was showing me around, and we were, she was showing me upstairs, and there was just like this little room there. And I was like, what is this? And she was like, oh, sometimes I stay here. She was like, because sometimes like just maybe one of the women may be having a problem at home, or, they work with a lot of young women that are young mothers. And she's like, she was basically like, sometimes they just need me here so I can stay. And, I just think that's a great example there. And then over time, like the other women that have been with Village Works so long, and she talked about like them taking ownership, like have also become mentors for other women employees, being flexible and understanding the pressures women face in trying to balance work and family life, which is certainly something that is universal for all women, no matter who you are. If you're Beyonce, or if you live in, a small rural village, that pressure is real. And, I've, last time when I was in Cambodia, one of the woman was giving me a ride on the back of her scooter. So we were chatting and she was telling me, you know, I was asking her how long she'd worked with Village Works. And she was like, I've, you know, for a long time. She was like, but there was a couple years, you know, when my kids were young, I didn't work so much. And she was like, and then I came back, you know, because I missed working and I wanted, you know, I wanted to work again. So I think also just having some flexibility in there is another thing that has been very important. And, you know, I already kind of talked to how this real community helps folks to be more secure, but we can even think of here, like without community, if we think of groups that are very vulnerable to trafficking, and we think of like, you know, young adults or adolescents that are like experiencing homelessness or foster kids. And, you know, not the only reason, but part of the reason that those people are more vulnerable is because they lack a real community. So, and then these are just sharing some more pictures of celebrating together in Cambodia, going everybody out to dinner. And then the other picture is actually from World Fair Trade Day. The last time I was in Cambodia, it was World Fair Trade Day. And so they had a big celebration and party for Village Works. So yeah, that was great. And then finally, I just wanted to touch a little bit on our grassroots partner, Damnok Tuk. And this is an amazing organization this is the organization that we like donated to for the long haul. We've donated to quite a few other organizations in the US and Cambodia. But this organization, they work specifically with children and to ensure that vulnerable or marginalized children have all their basic needs met and their rights respected. And yeah, some other fun things here. They've been around for a long time. Our Cambodian run. We did fund their first vocational training for girls. So they had vocational training for boys where they had like motor repair, something else too. I can't remember what the other one was, but we did their first vocational training for women, young women and girls, where they could do either like a cosmetology program or they could do a sewing program. And the one program that they do that has really impressed me is they run this non-formal education program. So this is basically for kids that for whatever reason, probably, you know, a dire socioeconomic situation that their family is in, they can't attend regular school. They have this whole curriculum. I call it catch-up school. Sometimes in some cases, the children are actually working, like sometimes they are working as like a street vendor, say. So this non-formal education or catch-up school will start like a little bit later in the day so that the kids can have school, you know, and they have meals there. And the idea is to like, so that they don't fall behind within the curriculum, and that eventually they can be in like the actual certified public schools. But they do tons of outreach in these communities to work with the parents to educate them about various things. But, you know, a lot of it is like really trying them to get the kids into this catch-up school program. And a lot of the kids end up like transferring out and going to regular school. And so I just think it's another great example of them like working with a very, very marginalized population for these kids, and really being a part of the community and really like being there to provide this real support for them. So yeah, and I think that is it. And then those last pictures of World Fair Trade Day, and then the other picture is in New York, and it always makes me laugh because Anak has Thanan's husband's sunglasses on in that picture, and but they they got to come over to the States to attend New York Now. They got like some various and from a Canadian fair trade organization, actually, I think they got some grants to come over. And so that was the day after the trade show. They really wanted to go. They really wanted to go to Brooklyn. So we rode the subway to Brooklyn. Yeah, that's it. So thanks so much. And yeah, we can do questions and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lucia. That was so educational. So like I said in the chat, feel free to type in your questions, or you can unmute yourself and ask some questions, but I'll ask the first question.
Okay.
Just seeing, you know, your big celebration on World Fair Trade Day, it makes me wonder, what are their thoughts on fair trade? Like, clearly we celebrate World Fair Trade Day because we want to empower them. And, you know, obviously we're all fair trade advocates here, but what are their thoughts on the whole fair trade movement?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because Village Works, they are actually members of the world, like Malia Designs, so we're a member of the Fair Trade Federation. And then Village Works is a member of the WFTO, the World Fair Trade Organization. And they have one of the, I believe it was like the British ambassador to Cambodia maybe came to this party, and yeah, they had like a really nice lunch. So they really appreciated and loved that. They also have, like, we're not the only customer for Village Works, like obviously, and they also have some big European customers as well. Like they typically go to a trade show in Germany that promotes a lot of fair trade brands as well. So I think that they definitely like understand that it's like an important and growing like certification, and that it's like special that they are doing like business this way. And they know that as well from obviously like knowing people in the community where that don't have the benefits that they do at Village Works, because it's pretty it's pretty nice, a lot of the things, the way that a lot of the things are set up. So
yeah, so then that makes me wonder, do they have to turn a lot of people away?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to ask Anak. Like, I know they go through, sometimes they have sometimes they're really in need of people. I think is kind of more the opposite problem usually, is like finding people that will like stick with it through like the training program. And then another thing is like a lot of, they have a lot of long-term people that have been there for the long haul, but like quite honestly, a lot of people also like leave and maybe start their own business, which is something that's hard because you want your employees to like thrive and do well, but it's like so hard to lose them too. So
yeah, thank you. So we do have a question. How have they been impacted during the pandemic?
So yeah, they have been impacted drastically by the pandemic because of the lack of tourism in Cambodia has really hurt all three groups. They all have gorgeous retail locations. Like one of Sanan, she actually had to like let her retail location go just because of the lack of tourism. Like even though her landlord was giving her a break on the rent for she had to not keep paying rent due to the pandemic. So really all three groups very quickly pivoted to producing the face masks, and so that was helpful for last year. And Village Works, they've even pivoted more to, they've opened also like a kind of like a farm to table, like organic cafe. But it's definitely continues to have like a pretty negative effect on all of the businesses. Cambodia, though they haven't had the number of cases that we've had, like they recently, just recently had another like spike, and so like they're kind of on another lockdown with like kids not in, like kids at home, and yeah, a lot of things shut down. So
are there, and feel free if anyone has questions, feel free to chime in or unmute. But are there any unique benefits to working in this fair trade group? I know, like, for example, one of the artisans that I work with, they actually provide daycare for the kids of the parents. So I was wondering if there's any awesome benefits.
Yeah, they have, I can't remember exactly what it is, but they have like a really great maternity leave policy. I'm like, oh, like that would probably be appreciated here in the US. And they have like both in the city, like, and in the country. It's like a really beautiful work environment. Yeah, they're very like focused on like reducing their use of plastic waste. So like a lot of times when I'm over there, it just happens to be my New Year, which is like their big holiday. So like and they'll have like everybody will get like cool like lunch, like these to-go lunch containers, or like water bottles, or all of those things. But yeah, I know the maternity leave was definitely one of the really good ones. And the flexibility, I think, too, of their of their schedules and what they are able and willing to take on depending on what's going on with the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's what I love about fair trade. It's about how do we care for people and how do we create a better environment that actually takes care of the makers of our products. So we have another question. What are some of your biggest challenges to grow Malia Designs?
Yeah, I mean, we're a small, like our team is small, is probably the biggest challenge. And then yeah, it's interesting. We have been like around the same size for quite a while. And yeah, so I think it like, but we're also completely like self-funded, and we do make a profit. So I guess I think that the challenge is kind of, in order to scale, sometimes you may have to do more of like an outside investment than we're really willing to do, because I think we would probably have to bring on some more resources. I mean, I think that people definitely are more educated and receptive to, fair trade, ethical trade, sustainable fashion. All of those things I think are brought up more frequently, and seeing, even if it's only like, Target has that fair trade jeans line, like seeing like those things go mainstream, I think will only like continue to help like the little brands like us. But yeah, I think it's definitely like the size of our team.
Yeah. I feel it too. Another question. Do you see a lot of women not able to continue to work in this time of the pandemic because of their family and children being home, away from school and jobs? So yeah, having to take care of their family and especially watch over their children, like, does that keep them away from work at this time?
Yeah, I'm sure in some cases it does. Like a lot of the women, like in the village workshop, a lot of the women already were working from home before the pandemic, and so they continued to, during this time, work at home. And they do also have that flexibility to maybe a lesser degree, like in the city setting. But yeah, so they've yeah, a lot of folks have always worked from home for that same reason before the pandemic, because it was easier as far as like childcare went.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Lisha, do you have anything there to show like some of your products? Like, do you have anything in your office right there?
Yeah, I will show a couple things. I have my scarf. This is like tie-dye silk scarf that I have on. Yeah, I will grab a couple of bags.
Laura, I don't know if you saw that I was showing off my bag.
Yeah. So
Well, if you can unshare your screen, that way.
Oh yeah.
Your,
Stop share.
yeah.
So now you guys can see it bigger. We do a lot with different recycled or repurposed materials. So this is actually made out of recycled cement bags. And yeah, this is one like our small messenger bag is one of our popular styles. We sell a lot of like smaller crossbody bags. And then also we work with both dead stock cotton fabric, but also like this ECAT woven fabric. And these are really cool because it's all like hand woven cotton. Yeah, in the traditional ECAT pattern. And we do tons of smaller accessories. We sell tons of we have lots of wallets for men and women. Yeah, just a whole lot of things. You can check them out at maliadesigns.com.
Do you sell those scarves on there? I don't know if I saw it.
They're new. We just got them in. Yeah, so we just got this.
Oh, they're so cute.
And yeah. Yeah.
Those are silk, right, Lucia?
Yeah, these are silk, and you they can be washed. You just like they'll be wrinkled, so you have to iron them. Yeah.
So this is a great question to kind of conclude this, but how can we help? That's a big question. How can we help?
Yeah, so we are like for us, the more bags we sell, like the more people we can employ. So, you know, even if you can't or don't have a need to purchase a product right now, like sharing, you know, following us on social media and sharing our website, sharing, you know, sharing our Instagram, sharing Facebook, things like that are so helpful. And if you have a product and you want to write a review, that's awesome as well. And then, yeah, just like talking to your friends and family about, you know, fair trade and purchasing things, you know, that are made, you know, how it gives you a chance to buy things like a beautiful product that is having, you know, the people and the planet taking those things into consideration is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely know, even just having a small fair trade business myself, it's the customer support that means the world. That's what keeps us going and the artisans going. One more question, and it's a great question. How does each group choose the products they make?
Oh, that is a good question.
I think that's really important because in order for these groups to be successful, they got to make products that are needed and wanted in the global market.
Yeah. So when we started out, we were just purchasing products that the groups were already making, but now we do most of the product design ourselves. So we do collaborate a lot with the artists, with our partners on this. And sometimes they will be making a bag shape, or there'll be a design that we really like, and we will ask like, oh, can you make this for us? And, you know, usually, unless it was specifically for another customer, they will say yes. So yeah, that's one thing. As we started out, we did a lot more bags made of silk, and we still we have like a silk hair, we have the silk scarves, and we have silk hair accessories, and we do like, we always bring like a little clutch or a little wristlet in because we love the silk and it's so beautiful. But for like it's like a special niche, like it's not quite as practical as like the rest of our product lines. And so but yeah, two of the groups that we work with both the recycled cement bags and recycled feed bags. Like they've been producing those products, and we've been selling those products like since we started, and some of the same designs, to be honest, since we started. But it just, those yeah, we have customers that just love those products, like love them for their stores. People love them. Like they'll be like, this is the fifth bag I've bought from you that's like this. And, you know, so, and then we kind of expanded on that, on the recycled stuff, with the screen prints, you know, the idea being like a little bit more contemporary, a little bit more fashion forward on those. So, yeah.
So I know that you're based in San Diego, but for those of us who are in LA, where can we find you? Where can we find your products?
So in LA area, Pasadena at 10,000 Villages. Yeah, they are a great supporter. Laura, where else in LA?
I know Adobe Designs in South Pasadena carries your masks.
Yeah, Adobe. Trying to think where else in LA area, because it kind of always shifting around a little bit as far as like what stores
So Anna Walt lumber really like
product.
like Anna Walt lumber on
Yeah, Anna Walt lumber, that's a good one.
They buy a lot of the recycled products,
the rice and yeah, Fern's Garden in Long Beach, like she has some of our products too.
Tita, one of our own members, has
some
products in our Fair Trade Long Beach retail location.
Yeah, she's got those at all of her.
I got some of the masks at Holy Family Bookstore. Anne has the masks.
Anne, right.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Got three there, and one that you sent for the monthly gift a few months ago.
Yeah, the fair package.
Now I have 4 of them, and people comment on them. I tried to pick ones that are really, you know, colorful and
that are fun. Yeah.
Oh, where did you? So it's like a walking advertisement. Masks. They're beautiful.
That's awesome.
Well,
I have to say that Malia, when I was a gift representative for Malia, my last job, Malia was one of the first companies to really turn on a dime and start making the masks. And our company sold so many because nobody was really doing it at the beginning. So it was great that her women and men were able to make these masks right away, and we would be able to support them by having customers buy these masks just right during the pandemic, like right in the middle of it all, you know.
And for them, like that's where being a member of WFTO was really helpful for them as well, because they helped to like develop the pattern that they used. And so there was like some guidance. There was some guidance for them to be able to like start doing it away. But yeah, we sold, I think, like almost 50,000 masks last year, and we don't ever sell 50,000 of anything. Like it was just, it was, we're so fortunate that we were able to pivot to doing the mask, because it really, has saved us financially, and that we didn't have the difficulties that they had at the spring and summer of exporting things. Like things were still shipping from Cambodia, which was not the case in other countries around the globe where people just couldn't get anything out. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Lucia. I just want to say that I always appreciate these opportunities where we could learn firsthand how a fair trade company is making a difference. And being able to learn how we, like our purchases, are making an impact. I think that is crucial, and that's what I love about fair trade, that direct impact. So want to respect you guys' time. We have 5 more minutes, so I just want to, in closing, just remind you guys that, you know, continue to be involved at Fair Trade LA by signing up for this event. Your email will be subscribed to our mailing list, but you can unsubscribe at any time, but you're going to receive all these updates of these awesome events coming up. Don't forget to use a promo code FAIRTALKS to get 10% off at maliadesign.com. I'm going to go on there and look for those scarves right now. And yeah, and this promo ends on the 20th, and 10% of your purchases will be donated to Fair Trade LA. And also, if you want one of these free matching sets of face masks and pouch, you can subscribe or become one of our members at Fair Trade LA this month, and we will send you one of these matching face masks and pouches from Malia Designs. And also, last but not least, our next big event at Fair Trade LA is for World Fair Trade Day in the beginning of May. And we're planning to have a powerhouse of panelists. I'm not going to give away too much right now, but you don't want to miss it. So please keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you so much. We will be sharing this video with you afterwards to all of you guys who have RSVP. So feel free to share it to other people. And just want to say thank you so much for joining us for our first Fair Talks of 2021.
Thanks, everyone. It was so nice to see your faces. Happy birthday, Laura.
Thank you.
Yes, happy birthday, Laurel.
Yeah, I'm an old lady. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Lucia. It's great to see you, Suzanne.
It's great to see you, Alicia.
Bye.
Bye.